My thoughts on celebrating birthdays. I stopped celebrating birthdays a long time ago because when you sit down and think about it, it makes no sense. Well, to me, it doesn't because it's clearly a man made concept that only benefits business owners because they have to come and buy cakes, they have to come and buy presents, customers have to come and buy gifts and all these things and book venues to have events for birthdays, right? So already I understood that nah man, this is made to make money off of people, just like all these other New Year's celebrations and all these other Valentine's Day type of events. And when you think about it, your body listens to you, right? So for example, if you keep putting spells on yourself, such as I have a bad back, which I rebuke, I don't have money, which I rebuke because I have too much cash and my body is in perfect health and harmony, thank God. When you say things like, I'm getting older, which I'm not because I'm getting younger by the day, your body's listening to you and your cells are listening to you and taking in this information, and they're going to manifest in the physical. You're going to look whatever you said. You know what I mean? So be careful the words you utter, bro. Be very, very careful. And don't just follow trends just because society is doing it. We're at a point of society now where it doesn't take a genius to be able to tell that society is at a low point with the NPCs on TikTok. Have you seen them? I know you have. And I've seen guys join the lives of the NPCs. And I'm like, IMO, this guy looks gangster, and you think, rugged dude, what are you doing there? And it was like a versus thing, and they were versing each other. I was like, so this is what they do on this app. This is wild. So what I'm saying is, we live in a society where society is not really functioning at its optimal state. So whatever society is doing, you need to be questioning and thinking, I probably shouldn't be doing that. It's probably not to my best, to my best interests. So question everything, even what I'm saying, even what you learned, like even what you were taught or what you're learning about currently. Question it and try to see how true is it, how valid is it. So put it through test. I believe we are all scientists. We need to be all doing experiments. Your whole life, to a degree, is an experiment because you testing to see what works best for you and what doesn't. Does that not make you a scientist? Because before you started the experiment, you had a hypothesis, meaning an assumption of, I think if this happens, then the outcome will be that. That's an hypothesis. And then life teaches you things as you act on things, and you find out, oh, this was true, this wasn't. You're pretty much a scientist if you ask me. So, from my experiments and what I've seen, it's best to come to your own conclusions and not just do what society does, because society is lost and it's the blind leading the blind. You can see it in the government structures, you can see it in the schooling system. How many kids leave school depressed, and not just depressed but frustrated because whatever they were doing there, they realized they were just wasting their time, and I was one of those types of students. And then you get into a social media world where they're like, you're not rich by 18, you're not rich by 22, what's wrong with you? And all these other kids with all these other head starts act like they didn't have a head start. And so you have your peers just competing with each other when no one really had a fair start or the same type of start. So it's just off. It's just completely off. So that's why everything society does, I question that. And one of the things that society still keeps doing is celebrating birthdays. You are just aging your body because your body's listening to you reaffirm how old you are. Even there's even the part in the song that says, "How old are you now? How old are you now?" That's affirming a negative, a negative like piece of information. And it's very ritualistic also in the sense that there are candles being lit on the cake and people standing in a circle clapping, which is also ritualistic, and nothing that they are willing into existence or celebrating is of any bad benefit. Like at least if they were talking about being grateful for life and that's what it was about, even though that's what a lot of people think it's about, which is great, but what is being said by the words aren't really affirming of that. And let's be honest, you need to look at people who are ahead of you in this life and have shared their thoughts on these things, such as Prince. He stated they asked him how does he look so young, and he stated that he doesn't celebrate birthdays because he thinks you only have one birthday, which I think is correct in saying. And that was the day you were born. Every other day after that is just another day. For it to be celebrated with the same amount of joy as the first one makes no sense. You only have one birthday. Granted, you can keep track of when you were born or whatever, but for me to keep reaffirming that ain't it. And I've noticed also that the youngest people usually never reveal their age if they don't have to, unless obviously they're applying for something or they're doing something that forces them to reveal their age. Under normal circumstances, they will not reveal their age. And that keeps you youthful. That keeps you young because your body now is listening to you. So if you're not telling it how old you are, there, it'll only take, it'll only age you as much as you let life age you, such as the lifestyle you have, the diet you keep, and obviously the genetics that you have. So I think the best situation when it comes to the whole celebrating birthdays things is just look at it from a perspective of today's the present. Right now is the present moment, and a present is a gift. So be grateful for today and be grateful for life, for breath, and every single moment you have in this life.